Yo, guys, I hope you're well. So, guys, this is getting beyond ridiculous. I'm just reading here and I haven't read it in full, so I'm just so incensed. So, basically, there's an article in the Telegraph and it's saying one in, one out, a migrant deal with France to tackle our channel crossings. So, from the look of it, just looking at all these boat people crossing the channel on a daily basis, I think it's like 18,000 already this year, which is something kind of ridiculous anyway. From what I gather, Britain and France are doing a deal or trying to do a deal where for each migrant that comes over on a boat from France to the UK, for each migrant that we return back to France, the UK will have to take on and to accept an asylum seeker from France. So hence the one in, one out. So basically the numbers won't change because for every channel crosser we return, we have to take in an asylum seeker from France. So I don't think the deal's been agreed yet. They're talking about it and it's going through. So I'm going to read this article just to find out a little bit more about it. But this is what I understand. So on a one in, one out basis, the equilibrium is still there. So we don't win. So for each person, migrant that we return, I can't say the W and the R together. I don't know why, tongue twisted. But for each migrant that we return back to France, we have to accept an asylum seeker from France. So my head is banging, my head is boiling, my head is swelling. It's getting to the point where I don't know. Anyway, guys, so just have a quick look at this. It's something that Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron, who are so tight together. Do you remember they traveled on the train together, the Cocaine Express together? I don't know if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, something just doesn't add up to me. Even though 1 minus 1 equals, yeah, you know where I'm going with this. So guys, Keir Starmer is in talks with France to return channel migrants in a one in, one out deal. Ministers are understood to hope that they can announce an agreement in principle with Emmanuel Macron, who is the French president, in the next month or so. Oh, sorry. Before Emmanuel Macron, the French president, makes his state visit to the UK next month for the Anglo-French summit. I didn't know that was happening. So under the scheme, Britain would send back channel migrants to France within weeks of their arrival in return for the UK taking asylum seekers from France. And the Home Office sources have indicated that a return scheme was a work in progress. It's talking about France, the EU, really. So I'm just going to go down here, see if there's anything more interesting. Okay. France has also agreed to start intercepting migrant taxi boats at sea for the first time after previously refusing to do so for fear of breaching maritime safety laws. The policy change, driven through by Mr. Retailleau, is expected to be confirmed at the summit, which is taking place from July 8th to 10th. Very strange. I didn't know that. So July the 8th to the 10th is an Anglo-French summit. Well, I'll look out for that. And the move comes after small boat crossings hit record levels with more than 18,000 migrants having reached the UK so far this year, which is up 43% on the same point last year, and the highest number since the first arrivals in 2018. It says here the French are open to the pilot one-for-one scheme. And if this is successful, this could be extended EU-wide. So I'm not going to read any more of this because my blood is already boiling. So this one in, one out scheme doesn't mean much to me because we're not going to see any difference. So I don't even know what's going on here. So for each migrant we return, and for each, so we're talking about the people who cross the channel illegally to come into the UK, for each migrant we stop, we turn around and we send back to France or wherever in the EU, we have to legally accept one of their asylum seekers. Wow, 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 wow. Guys, my question to you is this, and I'm always of the common sense kind of thinking, or I hope I am. My question to you is this. So we had a Brexit in 2016. Allegedly, we had a Brexit, although they weren't, or they didn't want to give us a proper Brexit. And that's including our own ministers, people like Theresa May, etc., didn't want us to have a proper Brexit. But we asked for a Brexit because we wanted to secure our borders. And instead, what we've had is we've had a myriad of people just raining through. It's almost like we held a sieve up and everything's going through the sieve. Really? Anyway, my question to you is this. So if the EU is so wondrous, if the EU is full and paved with gold floors, gold pavements, gold curtains, this, that, and a third, and if the EU is so great and marvelous, why are so many people trying to gain asylum, not in the EU, but in the UK? If you can answer me that question, please, I would love to know. Because everyone's going on about the EU is so wondrous, so great. We have an absolute avalanche of people trying to leave the EU to come to the UK. That doesn't add up to me. If you flick a coin, you toss it. My goodness, everyone says you've got a 50-50 chance of it becoming heads or tails. But in the question of stay in the EU or come to the UK, it's almost a 95% chance people want to come to the UK. I don't understand it. I don't. If the EU is so wondrous and marvelous, someone please tell me why they want to come here, because it just doesn't make sense. Really doesn't make sense. And I've got another question as well, because I thought that if someone is an asylum seeker or fleeing their country for whatever reason, whether it's political, personal, or they're being pursued for their orientations, this, that, and the third, I thought they were meant to settle in the first EU country to accept them. But it looks like they're coming in from all places in the EU, making these wondrous treks and trips and travels across all these countries and cities in the EU, and then floating out on a boat to come to the UK. It doesn't make sense and it doesn't add up to me. So guys, I'm so sorry about this. Got nothing against people who are trying to flee war-torn countries, but I was told that they're meant to settle in the first available country. I don't know. Maybe I've got that twisted. But my biggest question is, if the EU is so wondrous and almighty and powerful, why are they all coming here? Or why is it the EU are pushing them to the UK? Really? Is that the real question? Is that the answer? Why is the EU? Why are the EU? Why is von der Leyen pushing all of these people to the UK? Anyway, guys, let me know down here in the comment section. My mind is just absolutely banging, and it's not a good banging with all this. So it looks like it's going to be a one in, one out for the foreseeable future between the UK and France. Is this what you wanted? Is this what we wanted? For each person we return back to France, we have to accept someone else? Really? Let me know down here in the comment section. Anyway, guys, make sure you have a good weekend. It's roasting. I've got the fan going. So if you can hear something in the distance, it's my fan. I've tried to put it as far away as possible, but I'm absolutely roasting here. So sorry, guys. If you can hear the fan, I do apologize. But it is what it is. And guys, I don't see anything new here. So it's a case of one in, one out. Really? Is this what you want? Let me know down here. But have a great weekend. Look after yourselves. Look after each other. And guys, I'll see you at the next one.